Hey, we haven't watched a Roger Corman movie yet, have we? Or have we? It's been a while if we have.
We must have.
There had to have been a Roger Corman movie.
He's made something like 2,000 movies.
Yeah, I feel like if you're trying to watch a movie, there's a better chance that you'll just stumble and trip upon a Roger Corman movie than anything else.
Absolutely.
So anyway, what are we watching today? Oh! Bigfoot versus the dog.
Dogs. They're coming. They're coming your way. They'll be here soon.
Hey, they're the dog people, aren't they?
Travis Cornell made a new friend today. And it may just cost him his life. They created the perfect killer.
As long as he's with the dog, his life is in danger.
Now, how are they going to stop it?
It's up to you, isn't it? I stay, you die. When I say we make a stand right here, right now.
Corey Haim stars in Watchers.
Anyway, welcome to Rough Cuts, everyone.
Good to see you. I'm your co-host, Ilyon, and here's my other co-host.
Hello, I'm Boyks.
And we do Rough Cuts about good boys and bad movies, where we do a bad dog movie. And I was excited because I was like, at least Roger Corman's movies are competent, right? Like, most of the time they're...
Mostly, yeah.
They're cheap, they're sleazy, but, like, he knows how to make a movie. Like, there's a reason why... There was the whole joke of it was Roger Corman's school, right? Like,
oh, yeah.
Every major director and actor has to work for Roger Corman at some point so that you can understand how movies actually get made. And because he was always on, like, a super, super tight budget, and he would still make it work.
Not so much this one, I think.
No.
Yeah.
No. My problem with this movie is that it is competent. And that's the issue with this movie. Because it's done just well enough to not be interesting anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's kind of nothing else to it besides that is the issue.
I think it's important that we get a Corman movie, though, because Roger Corman did pass away this year.
He did,
May.
yeah.
And it's only been a few months since then, as of time of recording, of course.
And for the people that don't know, should we explain who Roger Corman is?
Oh, sure.
A little bit, just very quickly. So Roger Corman is kind of known as the king of B movies. He's done, like I said, I think literally probably thousands of movies. Did most of them on a super, super tight budget. But he also is famous because all of them are, like, generally really competently shot, and he could make a movie look good on, like, just a absolute shoestring budget. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this movie, even with, like, blowing up buildings, had, like, $20,000 a budget. Like, he could make magic happen, so much so that, like, he taught how to make movies to, like, Stephen King and Ron Howard. Like, there's, like, a list of, like, 30 of the biggest directors and actors you can imagine that are all like, oh yeah, no, I got discovered by him. Like, even people that did, like, OSTs, like... God, is it James Horner? The guy that did, like, Wrath of Khan. He started doing a whole lot of scores. Like, he's really, really famous for doing movie scores. And, like, started working with Roger Corman. Like, he just taught most of Hollywood at a certain point how to make movies.
And also, Roger Corman, not the director of this film, but an executive producer.
No. That's most of what he did.
Of a ton of movies. And he would help produce, like, 6 or 7 films a year, every year. For 40 years, 50 years.
That's why... Like I said, that's why he's the king of B movies, so and like, did, like, thousands of movies, I think. Like, it's quite literally something like that.
I do remember a Roger Corman movie that we did watch, by the way. It was Munchie Strikes Back.
I like to stick my head out the window like a dog.
Oh,
Yeah, now he's back on City Road.
oh, did you hear that? Wait a second. Wait a second.
Like a dog.
No.
Like a dog. Like a dog.
Yes!
See, okay, stop. Stop.
I'm right.
Like a dog.
No, I'm
like
right.
a dog.
I'm right.
That means he's not a dog.
I'm right.
No, it means he's not a dog.
Listen.
Okay, yeah,
That was a Roger
makes
Corman
perfect
production.
sense. Of course, yeah.
So
That's exactly the kind of thing that I would expect from Roger Corman. That was a fun movie, though.
yeah.
Like, it's stupid and it's bad, but also they're generally competent enough that they're fun, right? Like,
Yeah, this movie, by the way, is based off of a Dean Koontz book. I am not that familiar with Dean Koontz, actually. So maybe you know a little bit more, but
not
like
really.
From what I saw, he wrote tons and tons and tons of novels, sci-fi, horror stuff. Most of it under a pseudonym. Until he got later on into his career. But it's all like demons and devils and monsters. It's the typical stuff you would expect from like like your standard paperback, suspense horror stuff.
Dean Koontz is the like quintessential, you're walking through the Walmart and you're stuck going through all their aisles of candy bars, and then there's the one like shelf of books, and it's like, oh hey look, this is a new Dean Koontz novel. It's
And
it's
then,
trash.
And then this movie stars Corey Haim from that movie we never watched.
And that and also that other one that we never watched.
Yeah.
They know what we wanted. Shirtless Corey Haim.
Oh yeah.
Alright, what about Tracy?
I saw Lost Boys, and that's why I'm watching this one.
Suppose they never catch
Actually,
us.
I haven't seen Lost.
I haven't seen
Travis,
Lost
I
Boys.
just don't know, okay?
Why would I watch that? What are you talking about?
We'll figure it out in the morning.
Anyway.
God.
I think it's funny. So, this is technically lost media, watchers.
Probably.
Specifically because I can't really find it on streaming. I guess the only place we could find it was Roku. And otherwise, it's basically just VHS. There was a DVD release in the early 2000s of this and the second movie. I think in 2003. And then it was immediately discontinued. So, like, it's very hard to find this film in a watchable state in current day. So I think it's important to highlight some lost media again. I guess we're in a lost media era.
That's really... I do think that's actually important.
What I thought was interesting, though, when I was looking into this is kind of like the Howling series.
Sure.
There's actually 4 Watchers movies. I thought there were only 3. There's
I saw that too, yeah. That there's like
98.
It's Watchers Reborn or something. Is
Watchers Reborn is the last one. I almost want to watch that one. I have a reason, but I'll save it.
Okay.
I'll save it. I think we might watch that one still this.
I was also just realizing, talking about Dean Koontz and Roger Corman, that I'm like, man, that's almost like a match made in heaven, right?
Yeah.
Like you have like the trashy paperback like novel guy and like King of B movies. You'd think that this would really work.
You would think.
You'd think.
But yeah, so there's 4 of them, and from the synopsis of the movies, I think they're all the same movie. So there is that.
Sure.
And also there's only one book called Watchers, and they're all based on the same book. So
based very loosely.
You like double spaced the content.
And also, like, changed a ton of it, too.
Yeah, so the changes on this, this was technically during a Writers Guild strike in America, and they got a Canadian organization to finish the script. So much so that the original scriptwriter asked to have his name removed, so that the new writer could then take credit instead, and put a pseudonym for his name for the credit. He wanted nothing to do with it. So like, this whole thing is kind of a mess of, let's put a film out and then say it's based on the hit novel.
Yeah, it really sounds like a disaster, because From what I read of the synopsis of the novel, it's about a special forces man named Travis who, goes on this adventure. He finds this dog and it ends up being genetically modified. And then there's another monster called an outsider. And there's this whole thing in the woods with him basically Ramboing and such. And in this one, they just kill that character and they make it about his son. Oh, sorry, they don't kill that character.
That character's divorced.
Right, we realized that, way into the movie. That was, an hour in. They just go, well, I think that's why my dad got divorced. And we were like, wait, he's not dead?
I thought he was dead dad, because it's a
We
dog
thought he was
movie.
dead dad the whole time, because he was talking about, oh, yeah, my dad who was in the special forces, and he's got, all this old gear from him, and it really made it seem like he was fucking dead.
It really seemed like it. Also, this hits all the movie tropes that we want for a dog movie. It's got single parent... It's got school. It's got bullies. It's got can we keep the dog mom? It's got everything.
Gotta hide the dog from the mom. It's got all that stuff, and that's where I was excited for it being a Roger Corman film because his movies are really basic like that, but he understands the basics reasons why those tropes are there. And just, hits all the notes, right? Here you go. They're very standard a lot of the time, but also it's all right, well, here's where we gotta have the sex scene, and here's where we gotta put in some gore here, we gotta do this.
It's like you're gonna do Air Bud, but you gotta make sure you get frisky.
In the middle,
too, I'm like,
So what do kids like? They like TNA.
It's definitely
Roger Corman's always felt like a cigar chomping kind of guy to me.
Man.
What do the kids like? I know what they want. Here we go. I'll sell it to them. But all of his movies made money. That's why he was a legend, because he knew what people wanted to see, at least enough to make the budgets work.
You don't need to make a good movie if you make a profit, right?
Yep.
We've learned that.
That's basically it. Yep.
That's, if anything, from this podcast, we've learned that.
Very true.
Anyway, Watchers. Let's talk about Watchers a bit. So Watchers starts off with a building exploding from frame zero.
Starts with dog arson.
Dog arson, a building explodes.
And a dog runs away.
And a dog runs into the woods. And then we also see, the outline of a goofy, hairy man in the fire. And then it hard cuts to Michael Ironside talking to a guy being like, who escaped?
Also, by the way, Michael Ironside.
Oh yeah, Michael Ironside? This movie's got everything.
We really need to emphasize the Michael Ironside because goddamn Michael Ironside in this movie. Holy shit.
I think Corey Haim has top billing because they were trying to get teens to go to the theater or whatever, but this is definitely a Michael Ironside movie, not a Corey Haim movie.
Well, Michael Ironside is not he's never been a draw either.
No.
Except for, weirdos like us that love Michael Ironside, because Michael Ironside's great, and people should recognize that. But, Corey Haim was a huge star right after Lost Boys came out, which is where...
Yeah, this is the second movie the year after Lost Boys came out. So this is literally, top.
Yeah, he was at the top of his game. He was a huge star. They absolutely had to make it about Corey Haim.
Yeah. But so he's talking to this guy who escaped. Well, you see, it was a dog. Oh my god, a dog? Yeah, he's genetically altered to be super smart. GH3. The dog, he's intelligent. My god. And what else? Also, Oxcom number 7.
Oh my god.
Who escaped? What makes you think anything lived through that? You called me. If you wanted to know who blew the place up, you would have got Phelan or Davis. You called me because I know Benadine. GH3. The dog? Of course, you would have smelt the explosives. And one of the Oxcoms. Number 7. Always the bad seed. Biff Soames is our local agent. Keep him on a need-to-know basis. Is the dog still transmitting? Yes. Are the Oxcom and the dog still telepathically linked? On a biofrequency that only the Oxcom can receive. We have a maximum of 72 hours before the Oxcom kills the dog, and anyone with it.
And he just Just goes down the entire fucking plot, start to finish.
Just starts, just talking about the plot. Straight up.
Can I mention the Oxcom thing real quick here?
Yeah.
Because I was wrong about this. When we were watching this, I was like, okay, so that's some dumb acronym that Dean Koontz made. And it would be in parentheses right away. And you'd be like, okay, it's like organically experimental, whatever. Some kind of, and they'd put it on the side. And so it just doesn't work in the movie unless they want him to do even more expository dialogue than he's already doing. But I was wrong. That was one of the changes that they made. Dean Koontz was better than that. And he just named the thing The Outsider because they don't know what it is. It's this weird genetically modified... It sounded like it's maybe like a Soviet weapon in the novel.
Yeah, in this they're calling it a killing machine.
Yeah,
is what they're trying to
by
make.
the U.S. government. Yeah,
but it's really just a Bigfoot.
It's just a Bigfoot. They genetically modified Bigfoot, and the Oxcom. Can you tell me what Oxcom stands for?
Oh yeah, I know what Oxcom. Who doesn't know what Oxcom?
Who doesn't know what an Oxcom would be?
Clearly, it's an outside experimental combat mammal.
Oxcom 18, outside experimental combat mammal. There were 7, now there's only 1.
Every time I hear that, I feel like I'm doing like the math meme of like a woman like trying to like, where how do they acronym that? How does
what
so
outside?
Then you take the
they
out,
saw
then the X.
Like they saw outsiders or an outsider. Like, well, it has to be outside, so we're leaving outside in.
We'll leave outside in,
but then we'll make it fucked up and weird and add experimental combat mammal to the end of it.
And then they get calm from that. How did you get calm from combat Like they just
CO.
So did they
mammal,
do CO for combat and then M for mammal, or is it just calm for combat and they just leave the mammal out? Like
you don't say Oxcom mammal. That's like ATM machine, right? Like you don't say Oxcom mammal. Come on.
You shouldn't say Oxcom at all. It's just the dumbest fucking abbreviation I've ever heard. It's so goddamn terrible. It's great.
Outside experimental combat mammal.
So then it cuts from the Bigfoot has escaped and he's telepathically linked to a dog. To Horse Girl in a barn.
Getting down.
Getting up into the attic of the barn, the loft, and...
Oh yeah, she has to get up to get down.
And schmoozing up with Corey Haim. So that Corey can feel her all over. This is, by the way, Lala, who we found out later is the niece of Frank Zappa.
Which is why she's just called Lala.
Because they don't want to give her... They don't want to put, like, her real last name or Zappa, I think.
Yeah, I think...
I don't think she wants to be associated with it, right? So
something like that.
Yeah. So anyways, they're fooling around, but they hear something. So then, which they assume is the girl's father.
Parents or something, yeah.
Because they're fooling around in the barn. So Corey cheeses it and leaves. And then the dad shows up pointing a gun at his daughter. He's like, I'm gonna blast you. Oh, shit. My bad.
Gun safety, please.
Right, and so Corey leaves in his truck. His, like, old 50s fucking jalopy.
Yeah, he has a real old fucking truck. That thing is a real piece of shit.
I expected them to blow it up because they must have not spent a lot of money on it. But
they didn't by the end of it.
But they didn't. So they blew up a station wagon instead. And they kept that.
That was more of an SUV actually. It was more like a Bronco. Because that was the
Michael Ironside's car.
Yeah, I was gonna say the government agents.
Yeah. So he drives off, the dog jumps in the back of his truck and then leaves. And then as the dad is wandering around looking for Corey Haim, he's like, I saw you in Lost Boys, I'm gonna blast you. Stop fooling around with my daughter at the barn. Go to somebody else's barn. He starts climbing the ladder up to the loft. And then the Bigfoot is like, just a prank, bro.
Pushes the ladder over.
Yeah, it pushes the ladder over, knocking him over. And then
that was the daughter that was climbing. Because he does the door prank with the dad.
Yeah, the daughter was climbing. Yeah, and then he jumps down, I guess, and flings open a door to knock the dad out. It's like, oh shit, sorry, man.
Yeah, the daughter falls over and the dad runs in to rescue her because she's screaming and crying now because she's on the ground.
And she's under a horse that's like going wild, yeah.
And so then he tries to run into the room, and the Bigfoot's hiding behind a door and slams him with the door as he comes around the corner. It's like, it's the goofiest shit. Like, oh man, it's the ultimate killing machine. It knows how to Home Alone any situation.
It really does.
Like,
oh my god. Okay, I didn't expect it to just push the ladder. Oh god.
I love that this thing is just like using tools against them.
What?
He's like Home Aloneing them.
Yeah. It was just a plan. And then apparently off camera, it like gouged his eyes out and beheaded him or whatever. They don't show any of that ever usually.
They get into some gore later, but yeah, they don't really show the gouging eyes out from the Oxcom.
I think I did see. By the way, we're not really going to get a good picture of this monster at all in this movie. It's almost all silhouettes or hands on the side of a wall or.
Well, we talked about that when this was happening. You mentioned it right then when the ladder push and stuff happened, and it's just like a hand with some claws on it, and you're like, oh, that's the best that we're getting from this, huh? Because it's gonna be cheap. Like, you know what costs money? A big goddamn monster suit. You know what doesn't cost a lot of money? A hand. So you're gonna see a lot of like doors flying into people, or like a hand reaching through a roof, and boy, we got a lot of hands through doors and roofs and windows and things like that as the monster.
Let me send you a picture of the monster. There is one on one of the VHS covers.
Oh shit. Yeah.
It does not look good.
No. Looks terrible. We do get a little bit of a look at it a couple of times right at the end, but like in the woods in the dark. Like they obscure the fuck out of it because they know it looks terrible.
This is very clearly like a costume shop Bigfoot, is what I'm going to say. It's got abs.
It's a rubber monster.
It's real bad.
Real bad
way.
So
it makes sense that they didn't show it that much. But if you're going to do like a kill scene in a slasher monster movie, like you don't have to show the monster. Alien is a really good movie to talk about that point. Alien does not show the alien until the very end when it's very creepily like hiding in the corner almost. That might not be the exact moment, but when Sigourney Weaver's like getting in her pod at the end and it's just kind of curling up, you still can't really see it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but you kind of like, what the fuck is that? And then it steps out.
Yeah.
But that is a good show of like, well, your mind plays tricks on you and makes it scarier than it is. And then when you actually see the thing, you're like, what the fuck?
Yes.
But in this, you're just like, oh, that looks bad the whole time.
The whole time, yeah. It's just terrible. You know immediately. I mean, like, again, why is this weird baboon Bigfoot thing pushing people off of ladders and throwing
slamming doors on them?
Yeah, like it's goofy. It's very dumb. You know immediately that it's like, oh, budget, right? Okay.
So the cops are there dealing with the murder scene of the dad. Mm-hmm. And the sheriff is talking to his deputy, and she's like, I'm pretty sure this was some sort of animal, you know, like a grizzly bear. No, that ain't no grizzly bear. That's a Sasquatch.
You know, when Fish and Game wanted to reintroduce the grizzly in this area, most of these ranchers were dead against it. I wrote a letter. Didn't do no good. Can't tell the government anything.
I don't think this was a grizzly, Sheriff. This thing has Sasquatch written all over it.
Sasquatch?
You know, the abominable snowman.
Porter, when are you gonna grow up? There ain't no Tooth Fairy, there ain't no Santa Claus, and there ain't no Sasquatch.
Well, why would a grizzly rip a man's eyes out?
Yeah, oh my god. I forgot about the dumb second cop. Like
the deputy cop or whatever,
this woman deputy is just the dumbest person alive. Yeah, just, he's like, oh, it's gotta be a grizzly. Nah, I'm pretty sure it's Bigfoot. And he's like, looking at her like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Ain't no animal dig out their eyes and then slam a door in their face.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god. Classic Bigfoot. It's in the it's in the handbook.
Oh yeah, I read the book. I don't understand, Captain. I read all of it.
And then Michael Ironside and his accomplice, I guess, from the NSA, NSO, whatever it is.
They call it the NSO, which doesn't exist.
In the later movies, they call it the NSA. So,
which that makes more sense.
I think that might have just been a writing issue. Canadians, they don't know American stuff, I get it.
Yeah, they just don't give a shit in this movie. I mean, like, really, though.
No,
like,
I don't think they do.
And
but...
honestly, I think that's kind of smart in a way, too. Like, honestly, who gives a shit what organization it is? And having it be, like, a fake organization almost makes it better, because then it's... Like, why would the NSA be making combat Like, that's
combat
not an
mammals?
NSA...
Outside experimental combat mammal.
Yeah, like, that's not an NSA thing. But if you just, like, make some organization up and don't even explain what they are, then it can be anything. Like, it's kind of better to do a hand-wavy thing with it.
Then it cuts to Corey Haim stopping his truck back home.
Yes.
Ish. And the dog comes out and is like, hey, I am dog. And Corey's like, what the hell are you, man? You can't come with me. I can't have a dog. What will my mom think?
Just hitches a ride in the back of his truck immediately.
Yep. So Corey takes the dog in, I guess, because it's a dog movie. And he puts the dog in, like, his garage or whatever. He's like, I'm going to bed for the night. I'll deal with this tomorrow. And then he wakes up to the dog licking his face. Hey, what the hell? How'd you get in my room? And the mom shows up. She's like, Corey, what are you doing? I'm masturbating, Mom. I definitely don't have a dog in here.
I'm just jorking it.
And it's really funny because, like, she opens the door. She's like, what the hell is that? He looks like a dog.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a golden retriever.
It's just a dog.
People tend to know what golden retrievers are.
Travis? Who are you talking to?
Him. I was talking to him, Mom.
I don't understand. What's this?
Oh, it's a dog.
Yeah, I see that, Travis.
It's a golden retriever.
And then he goes, well, like, listen, you don't understand. It's really smart. Which, why would he know that? The only thing that's happened so far, it was in the garage, and now it's here. And he goes, no, Mom, but we gotta keep it. Look, it's so smart. Here. And he looks at the dog and he goes, okay, go downstairs and open the fridge, get me a hot dog, and if you do that, then you can have one too.
All right, Furface. There's a pack of hot dogs in the refrigerator, and if you go down there and you get them, you can have one.
So then the dog does that, which I don't think is that smart. I learned that at like 16.
I'd go get a hot dog if somebody said there's one in the fridge, right?
Yeah, if somebody tells me there's a hot dog in the fridge, I'd have learned that.
Not convinced.
No, I'm skeptical. So the dog does it, and she goes, all right, I mean, I guess if the dog can make hot dogs, then it gets...
I guess.
Okay, I guess.
I guess.
We'll keep this telepathically linked to a cybernetic baboon dog. Just to re-emphasize that's the plot.
That is the plot.
So far.
So the mom decides she's going to call the paper to put out an ad for a lost dog. Mm-hmm. And that's when our dog unplugs the phone line.
Yeah.
Unplugs the phone line. And she's like, wow, that dog's really smart. Doesn't want me to call the newspaper or the cops or anybody. He's holding us prisoner almost. It's weird.
Yeah. Weird. Why is he getting that gun? Is he loading it?
and they also do a thing where, like, I'm going to ask you a question. If it's yes, bark once. If it's no, bark twice. Mm-hmm. Now, do you know this president? Do you know where this hill is?
Yeah.
Can you use a sniper rifle?
It's amazing that they ask him, like, is this George Washington? And he's like, no. Is this Abraham Lincoln? Yes. And it's like, why would they teach? What? Okay. Intelligence doesn't mean that you know who the presidents are. Like, wait, is this government agency teaching him, like, okay, we're going to send you back in time. You've got to protect Abraham Lincoln. or is it the opposite? Is he in the theater?
I'm pretty sure this is an assassin dog, as we find out later.
That is the whole point.
Yeah.
Because we do learn. So, do you know how the telepathic link weapon system was going to work? Do you remember?
No.
They explained it, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
The idea was that the dog is telepathically linked to the genetic baboon Bigfoot.
Outside experimental combat mammal.
Mm-hmm.
And so the dog will be like a guidance system. And so it will go and find whoever the target is and like smell them and befriend them because it's a cool dog. And that will telepathically let the cybernetic baboon Bigfoot know where the target is so that it can track it and kill the person.
Look, that sounds stupid. But you know what?
It's really dumb.
But you know what? It would get me.
It would get me. Yeah. I'd be like, oh man.
Cool dog.
Hey man. Yeah, like it's the
man.
perfect weapon. It is the perfect weapon. That's not even a joke. This is literally the idea.
There's a big section in the middle where it's just the Bigfoot Oxcom killing a bunch of people for no reason.
It kills anybody that has met the dog.
And some people that haven't, I think, right? Like,
I don't think so.
The bullies and the people on the bikes, the kids on the bikes, they talked to Corey Haim, but they didn't meet the dog.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, because there's kind of like these kids on bikes that
the fisherman on the side of the river, that guy never met Corey, but the bullies knew him.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
he's just killing random people. The maintenance guy,
the fisher, isn't the fisher guy the guy that goes back to his RV?
Yeah,
I think that he saw the dog. I think he did see the dog.
I don't remember
in the woods on the first night.
On the first night, okay.
Yeah, there's like. Because they say the experiment failed, and instead of liking the dog and following where it goes, the baboon just wants to murder the dog.
We can't make a Bigfoot that hates dogs.
They made the government made a Bigfoot that hates.
Hates dogs specifically. We can't do that, alright? Maybe it was a failure of an experiment, if you think about it.
We're making this all sound way more interesting than it is, because this whole middle section of like Bigfoot just going around and killing people.
It's nothing.
It sounds interesting because you're like, oh yeah, you get some cool kills and stuff. And it's like, no, you get like low budget awful kills of just like the dude in his RV where he's like walking through his RV for 5 minutes and then suddenly an arm comes through a window, grabs him, shakes him a little bit, and the camera cuts away. Like, that's what you're getting.
It's like nothing, yeah. It's
just boring. Nothing.
But the kids on the bikes die. 2 of them get killed by the Oxcom. One of them just like falls down a hill, breaking every bone in his body, I guess.
That was a actual pretty cool stunt. That must have been a hard stunt to do, honestly.
Yeah, that
looked rough.
Yeah. So they all die. We're also introduced to the Australian pervert repair guy who's trying to get into Corey Haim's mom's pants, which definitely won't die.
Certainly not.
The biker kids, though, and by say biker kids, I mean just bikes.
Bikes, yeah, bicycles.
They did do a very funny weed thing. They're like, oh, that guy by the river? Oh, he must have been caught for weed. Hey! Weed.
Maybe old man Dahlberg got busted for all that weed he was growing.
Gotta throw in some sex and drugs and rock and roll for all the teens.
For the teens. So, Corey goes to school, to his computer class, where they teach typing. Yes. And as he's at school, the dog shows up, and these like teen girls are walking in. The dog tries to follow them, but the door closes. And then the dog's like, hey, come on, open the fucking door. I don't have opposable thumbs.
Just like taps the window.
And the teens are like, oh, look, a dog. It wants inside. Should we let it in? Why the fuck not,
When I was like 14 or 15 or something, I'd have absolutely let that dog in. I don't want to let that dog in.
So the dog goes into computer class and starts typing on the computer with a pencil. one letter at a time with bad. So this is what gets me about this. This is actually a fun scene of a dog actually typing on a keyboard. They taught this dog a trick.
It's not like it doesn't do the cut of like just the pencil in the frame hitting things. It's like it actually shows the whole dog head. Like the dog is doing the typing with the pencil. Like you get to see it. It's great.
And the dog types D-ang-er.
Yeah.
NSO. Because that's the organization.
Very good work, Miss Brooks. Yes. I wish everyone in the class would have done as well as Miss Brooks here. Very nice work. Very nice. Thank you, Miss Brooks.
Thank you, sir.
But the danger... did the dog add the spaces? I thought this was a smart dog. Why is it adding spaces? Yeah. It has a pencil that it's using for each individual keystroke. So it's not like it's accidentally hitting the space bar. Why did they do that?
Extra spacing.
Why did they do that?
Well, and also it's like dagger, like you said, like it's misspelled bad, and you're like, okay, well the whole point was this was supposed to be like this super smart dog. It knows who Abraham Lincoln is, but it can't spell danger. Like,
I guess. So then Corey leaves for the day, and then that night, as the computer teacher's still in the classroom,
at like 11,
the Oxcom shows up. Who's like, "Fuck computers! No,
I hate the technology.
No typing."
And the internet was a mistake.
I guess he kills this guy because he saw the dog, but he didn't kill everybody in the school. Like just the teacher.
Yep.
I don't know what's up with that. That doesn't follow the logic of the movie at that point.
There's a lot of that doesn't make sense.
So the maintenance guy calls the cops. He's like, "Hey, I don't know what's happening, but somebody's dying upstairs or whatever. Can't you hear it?" They're going, "Ah, here, let me show you."
Yeah, because the Oxcom kills him as he's on the line.
Sheriff's office.
The maintenance man here at the school.
What? You're the maintenance man.
What school? That's right, the high school. I'm in the basement at the high school. There's a big problem out here. There's something terrible going on. There's hollering.
Just hold on now. Take it easy.
It's like someone's being...
That's like a Monty Python joke or something. Like, did he write on the wall as he was dying? Like,
well, even better is that then, at least for me, because like that was very dumb and very funny. But they do a great job. I really wish that they had kept the dumb deputy alive for a longer time, because she then goes, "Huh," and like hangs up the phone, and the captain goes, "So what was that about?" And she goes, "Oh, I don't know. He'll call back."
If he needs help, he'll call back. All right.
And he's like, "No, what?" Like, you heard a guy screaming on the other line, and it cut off. What are you fucking talking about? She's like, "Well, he'll just call. It's fine. Obviously, he'd call back." All right, let's go to the school, you dummy.
The maintenance man over at the high school was screaming. If it's important, he'll call back.
Yeah, the sheriff and his deputy show up at the school, shotguns ablazing. For some reason. Even though I
love the difference between like, oh, they'll call back, and then immediately they're there with shotguns ready to go.
And they find the dead teacher, they go to the maintenance room, and they find the dead maintenance guy. And then for some reason, the deputy decides to climb a ladder. Classic mistake around a Bigfoot.
You can't do that around Bigfoot. Around cheap budget Bigfoot, you cannot climb ladders or open doors. It's going to get you.
So the Bigfoot knocks over the ladder again.
Oh no!
Which knocks her down into an electrical box, and we get a pretty cool like electricity death.
That was actually fun, yeah.
And then he gouges out her eyes, and they show the gore of like her eyeball popped out. Like that's kind of cool, I guess. But then the sheriff like runs away. He tries to kill the Bigfoot, and then ends up just getting out of the building. But this is where he meets back up with Michael Ironside. He's like, hey, what the fuck was that? They killed my deputy and also a teacher and maybe a maintenance guy. I don't know. Whatever. But...
Oh, I guess we should mention, like at all of these crime scenes, Michael Ironside has kind of come in and been like, oh, I'm the NSO, I get to take over, and been, you know, like covering up all of these deaths and stuff, which we haven't talked about Michael Ironside in this yet. It's Michael Ironside. He's incredible. Every scene with him, he's just got like the best one-liners, and he delivers them in his like typical gruff Michael Ironside way. This is before he got really into just being drunk on set, let's be honest.
Damn.
So it's nice.
Yeah. So he tells the sheriff, look, I'll tell you more, but you have to go to a discreet location with just me and you in the dark.
Yeah, listen, it's a big government secret. I gotta tell you there.
So the sheriff goes with him to a discreet location in the dark. And Michael Ironside's like, well, you see, it's an oxcom. It's a Bigfoot that we genetically engineered to be telepathic with a dog. But this particular oxcom, unlike the other ones, is a real fucker. He was never quite there emotionally. More teenager, really, if you think about it. Kind of a dick.
We called it the Francis Project. St. Francis of Assisi was a monk who had an affinity with animals. He could communicate with them. And we were developing new animals. Animals with extraordinary mental abilities. Animals with extraordinary physical powers.
You mean like this thing that killed Keishan and my partner? You mean it's intelligent?
Yes.
Well, why doesn't somebody reason with it? Can't you control it? It's got to be stopped.
It's experimental. It has a mind that can reason, but it's never been right emotionally.
What do you mean?
It's disturbed. Insane.
Yeah, God, great. I remember like when he broke out first too, like when the Oxcom first broke out, he goes, which one got out? And they're like, oh, it's 07. He goes, oh, it's always the bad seed. Like he's just got like these, it's just the cheesiest, best lines. It's always so fucking good.
You see, that oxcom was genetically engineered to hate dogs.
It's a real failed experiment. And he talks about how there was like 3 genetic experiments that he's like, oh yeah, we had the dogs and the oxcoms and then the third experiment.
Which I will not explain.
Which I'll tell you later, don't worry about it anyway. So like, I'm just gonna...
The sheriff's like, man, the fucking government's always genetically engineering Bigfoots to kill dogs. This is awful. I'm gonna tell everyone.
Yeah, and he goes, yeah. Hey, do you want to see this really cool lake that we have right here up close? That's what you thought.
I thought
you
it was
were close. You thought it was just gonna be like, all right, I'm just gonna introduce this man to this bottom of this lake.
Yeah, you ever hear what a man drowning
that it's like?
Yeah, you know.
It was pretty obvious the whole time that you're like, okay, he's telling you every government secret that he knows, huh? Do you maybe think you're not gonna be able to tell anyone? Is that maybe why?
Yeah. But he smashes his head through a window of a car door. And then just, like, rakes his throat across the glass.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fucking cool, actually.
Yeah, it's a good death. And then he gouges his eyes out slowly.
To make it look like it was the Bigfoot. Yep. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fucked up.
It's pretty fucked up. It's really weird that they kind of do this whole big thing where they give you all of this weird, stupid plot about telepathic links and that they somehow engineered dog hate into the Bigfoot.
I don't think that's possible, by the way. I think that's fictional.
But then they don't explain what the fuck the eye thing is. Because, like, for some reason, it just wants to gouge out everybody's eyes.
Well, it's called The Watcher. It doesn't want you to watch it. I think that is actually it.
Why is this called The Watcher?
I think that is actually it. If you see the Bigfoot, the Oxcom, it has to kill you. So it gouges your eyes out so you can't see it anymore. I think that is literally it, but it's stupid.
Yeah, it's very dumb.
So, anyways, after the sheriff dies, it cuts back to Corey Haim back home with his mom and the repair guy who's very Australian. And wants to get into his mom's pants. And also, his...
Oh, he's right chuffed about all these... appliances having problems. And would you like a cuppa? He's just doing all these...
Yeah.
It's like a mix of UK and Australian slang is the funniest thing to me. Because this man... Sure that cuppa and stuff.
This man has a Vegemite sandwich every day.
Oh, yeah.
Clearly.
Clearly. Throw some shrimp on the Barbie.
Yeah. Anyway, so they leave the maintenance guy to deal with the what is it, the dryer?
It's the dryer.
He says something about, like, I bang their washer and dryer, if you know what I mean, or something stupid.
Hello. Hi, is Mrs. Cornell here, please?
Oh, you mean Nora? No, she's not here. Ted Hockney. I'm taking care of her appliances, if you know what I mean, mate.
To Michael Ironside, after Michael Ironside shows up.
Trying to ask for where the dog is.
Yeah, but this guy doesn't know that they even have a dog yet, so he's just like, what dog? They don't have a fucking pet. Anyway, so he's fixing the broken thing. The mom, Corey, and the dog are outside talking about where Corey's girlfriend is, because she went missing after the original attack against her, her and her dad. And they can't find her, so then Corey's like, well, I'm gonna go out on my own and find her. I don't fucking care. I'm fucking Rambo.
Yeah, this kid, this is also, I think, around the time when he's like, yeah, my dad was special forces. He taught me everything he knew. Like, they just kind of set up that this kid's just Rambo kid at 14.
God. But the Oxcom attacks the maintenance guy and kills him, rips his face off.
Yep.
And then we get a scene where the family is, like, escaping through a window over the rooftops. But as the dog jumps out the rooftop away from the Oxcom, with no glove on, just a human hand.
It's the human hand.
Like, pushes the dog down as it's jumping out the window.
As it goes,
just a prank! And, like, pranks him down so he misses his jump between buildings. But anyway, the family escapes in Corey's shitty truck. And they drive off to an animal hospital where a vet is, and the vet is the general from Stargate SG-1.
Yes, yeah, another character actor.
Mm-hmm. He calls the Cancer Research Institute.
Yeah.
I don't know what's up with this.
They show that there's like a reward that's been put out because the dog has like a tattoo in its ear that is its government number, right? Like the GH3.
Yeah.
And then he leaves the room with the mom and kid and goes like, oh, I'm gonna turn in the reward money, and pulls up a poster that has like, oh, if you see this dog with this tattoo, please call us. And it's for the American Cancer Society or Research Institute or something. And you're like, what?
That could be a front that the NSO put out just to, like, obscure that they exist or something.
Yeah, which makes sense. But why the American Cancer
Research? That doesn't make sense, right?
Why wouldn't it be, like, anything but that? That's the dumbest thing possible.
They overhear the call, so they leave and go to a motel. And this is what's also weird. The motel guy lets them stay even though they have a dog, but his wife is pissed about that. And the next morning, like, she calls the FBI, I guess, about this dog in their motel.
Sure.
Or whatever. And Michael Ironside's there, and she's like, get that dog out of here. Are you going to clean up all those cancer germs from that dog?
Hey, you! Yeah, you clean up those cancer germs, huh?
Yes. Yeah, the cancer germs.
And that's even weirder? What does that mean? Right? But
because it's a cancer dog, see? That's why they need it.
I guess.
They don't explain any of this. It's just, we're getting this just from those 2 lines and, like, kind of a header on a warning, on, like, a wanted poster. That's it.
It's like nothing.
We're like, what the fuck does this have to do with cancer?
But Michael Ironside goes to their hotel door. The mom tells Corey and the dog to escape through a window. And then take the truck after she's distracting them.
Yeah.
Which he does. And then Michael Ironside abducts the mom to take her to where the girlfriend is, so he can try and get information about where Corey might have gone.
Yeah, because he's like, here, listen, we need you to trust us. We need you to let us know where Corey is. If we show you Tracy, the girlfriend, will you trust us? And so then he tries to take her there. He has a good line here, too, a couple good lines where at first he's like, you'd make a bad criminal. You blush when you lie. And then when he goes out the front door and the truck's gone, he kind of looks left and right and goes, forget that. You'd make a great criminal.
No, you know what? You got me.
Like, all right. You know what? Fair point. You fucking got it. All right. You know what? Actually.
I don't know what you're talking about.
If you'd been a criminal, Mrs. Cornell, you would have been locked up a long time ago. You blush when you lie. Take it back, Mrs. Cornell. You'd make a wonderful criminal.
Yeah, so Corey's at the cabin. He decides to go set up some Home Alone pranks for the Oxcom when it shows up. Because the dog warns him that the Oxcom's on the way. And if he stays with Corey, he's gonna die. But if he leaves, Corey will live. Because the Oxcom won't go after him. Which isn't true, because the Oxcom kills everybody that has seen the dog, apparently. So this dog ain't very smart. I don't know what's...
No, this dog very dumb.
So Corey goes to the Hunter, warehouse.
Yes.
And he's just getting, bomb-making stuff. Guns, ammo.
And the guy at the counter goes, "Hey, how old are you? You're not allowed to have all this bomb-making gun material.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing with all of it?"
Yeah?
Sorry,
Well, what's he doing? Oh, I'm going out hunting. I'm 16 and my dad said I can go fucking kill.
Oh, what are you gonna kill?
Oh, I'm gonna go kill a grizzly bear.
Those are protected.
Yeah, they are.
Hell yeah, kid, I'm fucking in.
So this guy gives him extra ammo.
Gives him extra because of that. He's like, "What are you hunting with 3-06? That's way too big." He's like, "I'm gonna kill grizzly." Oh fuck yeah, I'm super into this. Yeah. Let's do some fucking crime, child.
That's so funny.
That it?
No. I need some shells. 30-30.
How old are you, son?
Let me tell you, sir, I'm old enough to know these woods like the back of my hand. Me and my dad were staying up at Totem Creek. He told me that this week, my 16th birthday, was my day. The day.
Yeah, but 30-30. What are you bringing down?
A grizzly.
Grizzlies is protected.
I know that.
That's really dumb. It's very good.
But he gets back, and the dog now has a Scrabble board.
Mm-hmm.
And has been writing stuff in Scrabble. Danger, rah, rah.
That's where it's that was the original, and you live, and you stay, you die.
But then apparently Corey just gets bored of making bombs and just plays Scrabble with the dog.
Yeah, they just show them doing a Scrabble game.
And to the point where he's like, "Hey, you can't put that. That's not a word." And the dog's like, "Yes, it is. Fuck you, Corey Haim."
grabs the dictionary and slaps him across the face with it.
Look it up, fucker. No, that's a initial, an acronym or whatever. You can't put that. Fuck you, dog.
Mm-hmm.
They're arguing about Scrabble dictionaries. I don't know why.
DZ? No, that's not a word. It is not. Oh, what? You looked it up? Okay. All right, mister. Okay. DZ. Dozens. Oh, no, you cannot use abbreviations. Come on, you read the rules. No, you are such a cheat.
It's funny, I guess. It's kind of funny.
They did have to thank Scrabble in the credits, so...
Yes, they did. Yes.
I don't know.
Yep.
Anyways, Michael Ironside shows up with his partner, and he takes the mom and the girlfriend as hostages to try and get Corey and the dog.
Because, surprise, surprise, when he shows Tracy's not actually hurt, so they don't have any reason to keep her. They've just been drugging her to keep her quiet. Yeah. And then the mom, the biggest fucking idiot in the universe, they leave the room and the mom just starts talking to the girl going "It's okay. Corey is safe. He's up here in this spot and this is our entire plan. I just want you to know that. Yeah. Here's his exact location. They're definitely not bugging this secure location that we're trapped in.
Anyways.
Oh, shit, they're bugging this secure location that we're trapped in.
So Corey sees them, though, driving up, and he throws out his pipe bomb. that he made.
Well, it's not even a pipe bomb. He makes the Shinzo
it's a
Abe
shrapnel
murder
bomb.
weapon.
Yeah, the shrapnel Abe bomb.
He's got a tube that he sticks 2 pounds. He says 2 pounds of shrapnel into it, and then he's got like a big fuse on it. He makes a homemade cannon. He actually does make the Shinzo Abe device.
Yep. But then he sees his mom and his girlfriend. He's like, oh fuck.
Oh wait, they're using human shields. God damn it.
So he throws it behind them. He's like, duck! And it knocks down Michael Ironside and his partner. The other two get away and go into the cabin. And then his partner's like, hey, I know we've been doing crime and probably killing people, but actually killing women and children, that's too much. Teachers,
man, I don't
police
know,
officers, I'm with, but...
I can't kill these kids. Like, killing kids is a little far.
Yeah, and Michael Ironside's like, hey, remember how I told you there were 3 experiments? I'm the 3rd.
I have no conscience.
My experiments is they made me an asshole.
That's literally it.
What?
You're not wrong, because it's just... I'm a genetically engineered assassin. They took out my conscience.
Remember I told you there were 3 biological experiments at Panodyne. The oxcom, the dog, and their best animal. It's me, Cliff. I'm the 3rd experiment. What makes you so fucking special? I'm the perfect killing machine. I've got no conscience.
You hear that, Hulk Hogan?
Wait, what?
At SummerSlam, you're going down. I'm like, okay, man.
And then he just shoots the dude in the face for reasons.
So Corey throws like a Molotov and blows up their vehicle, like we mentioned earlier. And then he goes out to look for Michael Ironside. And he's looking, he's nowhere. And then out of the corner of his eye in a mirror, he sees his face because he's inside Corey's shitty truck. And he's like, hey there, been watching you blow up my car, bud.
Hi there.
He's been 6 inches away from Corey Haim this whole time, but he's like, oh my god, no.
No, it's not time.
I gotta wait for the moment. I
time.
gotta wait. This is gonna be real good. Fuck, there's no one else to see it anymore. I killed my partner. But still good. I still gotta do it, though. It's really good. It's a great prank.
So he like overpowers Corey. He's like, hey, there's only 2 kinds of people. Those who hunt and those who get hunted. Ha ha ha, I'm so smart. I take part in society.
There are those that kill and those that get killed. What kind of animal are you, son? Huh?
And then Corey like grabs a knife and stabs him through the throat.
Yeah, because Corey is just now Rambo.
Yeah.
He's able to overpower and murder this genetically engineered government assassin.
But he was genetically engineered to hate.
Like, he has to be an asshole.
He's literally a hater.
Yeah, the government. All right, we've got some experiments to make. We're gonna do some stuff. We need some unlimited funds from the Pentagon. Okay, what are you doing? All right, we want to psychically link a dog with a genetic engineered Bigfoot, and we'd also like to make some haters. All right, here you go. It's $1 billion.
Here's your funding. Yeah. So he stabs him through the throat. That doesn't kill Michael Ironside because he's Michael Ironside. You can't just stab him through the throat.
Yeah. Like you said, he's only genetically engineered to hate. This is just that he's Michael Ironside.
Yeah. So the mom shoots him, and that kills him.
He's got a great moment, though, before where he's, like, pinned to a tree.
Oh, yeah.
Because the knife is through his throat and into a tree, because apparently Corey Haim's strong enough to sever his spine and still impale him through a tree. And he pulls it out slowly, and he's like, you think that could stop me? And like this, like his blood's like gushing out of his neck wound. It's kind of great.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. After that, Corey's like, "Oh right, the Bigfoot."
Oh right, there's still movie. Yeah, the movie's like, oh shit, right. There's this whole Oxcom thing too, right? Fuck.
Yeah. So the Bigfoot shows up. There's a lot of chaos. I think Corey or somebody ends up shooting the Bigfoot, and it runs off bleeding like a wounded animal.
Corey does, yeah.
Yeah. So then Corey's like, I'm hunting that fucker down. I've never killed anything in my life, but once Michael Ironside died, I changed inside.
Yes. Yo.
He's basically Lara Croft. Like once you get a taste of blood, there's just thousands that are gonna die to you at that point.
Well, there's also like this very lightly touched on, like it's really badly done. It's so lightly touched, but the idea of like, because same with how Michael Ironside is like, well, like what? There's only two kinds of people: those that kill and those that get. Like, so it's kind of like, oh, well, he's unlocking the hunter inside.
I
of
guess,
him kind of
yeah,
thing,
because his dad wouldn't like let him hunt because he couldn't kill, and I don't know.
I get, yes, there's something like that going on. It's very shittily done and barely touched on, but I think that's what they're going for.
So he hunts down the wounded Oxcom, and he sees it kind of in pain, and it looks so pitiful. He's like, I'm not going to kill it. What's it going to do, murder me?
So then the Oxcom tries to kill him.
and the second time, after he knocks it down again, he's like, yeah, I should kill it.
All right, I'm just going to kill us. Never mind. Fuck it. Fine, whatever. I was going to have, we had this whole motif of if I'm going to unlock the killer inside of me, and I didn't. But then the universe said, Corey Haim, you're a killer. And I went, all right, fine, I'm a fucking killer.
I'm assuming in the book, and I haven't read it, that there's a moment here where he's like, oh, I can't kill it. That's a thinking, breathing animal. Just because it doesn't know what it was doing, whatever, or it was engineered to do this, doesn't mean it doesn't have... Like, it's still a living thing.
It deserves to live, sure.
Just like how the dog deserves to live because it can play Scrabble.
It's not its fault that it was designed like this.
But instead we get, I was just fucking with you, and it attacks him anyway. And then he's like, well, I guess I gotta kill it now. Right? Like,
it's so badly done. Like, if the point was to do that motif, it is so brushed over and so poorly handled that it just does not land at all. Like, not even a little.
So the Oxcom dies, the dog lives, the family gets together, gets into their truck and drives off as the cabin they were in is burning to the ground for some reason. I guess...
Well, because they threw a Molotov
at the monster.
Or at the monster inside of the building. Yeah. Like, so everything's fucked. And they're like, hey, all right, gonna go to school on Monday? Yeah, sounds good.
Oh, you still got work tomorrow? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be at the Walgreens.
They don't have, like, a conversation at the end. There's no, like, pointed message. They just drive off and it ends. It's a classic Roger Corman, film.
Yeah, it's a classic B-movie. Just, all right, well, I'm sure this has no implications. See you later.
Yeah. And that's Watchers, the first one. I guess
that's the Watchers one.
I mean, this is a good start to our spooky month, I guess. It's got monsters, it's got dogs, it's got telepathically linked Bigfoots.
Yeah, it's another one of those movies that we're gonna make sound more interesting than it is, because a huge chunk of this movie is that part that we brushed over. That's just
the middle where nothing happens.
It just goes around murdering people in like really lazy ways, and we're sitting there going, well, yeah, Corey Haim's just kind of talking to a dog a bunch, huh?
Every time somebody dies, it cuts back to Corey being like, so do you know Scrabble? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically. The other thing, too, we talked about how great Michael Ironside is. Can we touch on very lightly how terrible Corey Haim is?
Oh, he's bad in this, yeah.
Because he's terrible in this. And, like... Yeah. They make him this Rambo kid at the end of it, and it doesn't work. He does not work in any way. It's not like his character doesn't seem like it's going to be like that. Like, that's not even necessarily all his fault, because it doesn't seem like it's set up for his character either. But it's just...
Well, he's both the cool military teenager and the 8-year-old that brought a dog home.
Yeah,
and you can't really do both.
Yeah.
So I don't think he had a lot of good direction, but also I just don't think he's acting very well in this movie.
No. So. It would have been, you make a good point that it might have worked better to have like him with a younger brother.
Something like that.
And a younger brother that's like, no, we got to keep the dog, and him being like, kind of the angry, secluded teen. Like, he's not shown as this kid that would be struggling with a dark inner killer turmoil at all. He's this happy-go-lucky, like, he's friends with everybody. When he meets, like, the bullies and stuff, and the bullies and the picked-on kid, he's just like, yo, man, how's it going? Like, he's the cool kid. Everybody loves Corey. Right? Like that, every scene of him in the school and stuff, it's like, oh man, yeah, look, it's Corey. He's the rad dude. Like, he seems like he's got everything together. So it just does not make sense for him to be this Rambo dark kid at the end of it. It doesn't make sense for him to be like the one hiding the dog from mom, because he hides the dog from mom, and then mom finds the dog and she goes, oh, it's a dog, huh? And he goes, yeah, can we keep it? And she goes, sure.
Yeah.
Like, there's just things like that just don't work.
And it's not the kid in the book. So that also makes me question, like, is the mom involved in the book? And I'm like, I think they just rewrote all this to be, like, a dog movie.
Yes.
So,
yeah, well, I mean, it is a dog movie in the... it's a dog thing in the book, too, because it's...
There is.
The dog befriends the special forces guy.
I don't think it's like
they wanted
a
family
tropey family movie, yeah.
Yeah, they wanted the... Yes. Yeah, that part of the dog film. Sure. In that sense of dog movie, in dog family movie, they really needed to do that side of it, which is weird because this is like a gore fest. So
yeah, it's a really weird prequel to the Air Bud series. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
No.
I mean, I've seen the Buddies films. I understand how people can get mangled and mutilated with the buddies around. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, obviously. Well, you can kind of see how, like, the darkness from Air Bud passes down to his children. Like all of his genetic engineering.
And
it does kind of fit.
That does actually add up. Anyway, that's
why. So should we rate Air Bud?
I don't think... By the way, yeah, the dog has two names, I guess. Let's rate the dog. It's GH3. Or Furface.
Fuck you, Corey.
Furface is the canon name for this dog in the credits.
Because he just calls it Furface.
Yep, never gave it a name. So Furface, I don't know. Furface can type on a computer, but not very well. That dog needs to go back to typing class.
I'm hunting peck out of 10.
Hunting peck. Furface also pretty good at Scrabble, but kind of a dick about the rules. Kind of a dick.
Also, hunt and peck out of 10?
I get it. I would say I would rate Furface as a slightly more intelligent than Corey Haim out of 10.
God, that's accurate.
I think that's
I do love. I do want to mention that I did like, again, we kind of talked on it very briefly, but the dog does a great job of like doing some real cool kind of stunt stuff, like with the pencil and the keyboard and like various other things like tapping on windows or different things with its paws. Like, there's no fake dog paw in the movie.
It's true.
Which normally I'd say is a downside, but it's because they actually show the dog doing the things. Like, when the dog pulls the phone cord out of the wall, it's the dog pulling the phone cord out of the wall.
They put a towel on the fridge so the dog could open the fridge. Things like that.
Yeah. Like little things.
Yeah. I guess that's the only dog in the movie. I wouldn't say the Oxcom is the dog, so...
No.
Yeah. Anyway.
Michael Ironside's got that dog in him, but he ain't a dog himself.
Yeah.
He literally has the dog in him because he says they all share genetic
got the dog
material.
DNA. That's true. You know what? Michael Ironside is a dog. Technically, according to the film.
According to the film, because that's how they telepathically link them, is that they give them all DNA from each other.
Yeah. Michael Ironside, I would rate him as a waiting for the perfect moment for a one-liner prank out of 10.
God, he's so good.
Anyway, that's it for Watchers, I guess.
Yeah, and if you'd like to support us, we do have to buy a lot of these movies and, of course, pay for hosting and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. We have our Patreon, so you can check us out at Rough Cuts. Thanks, everybody, for watching so much this year, by the way. We've already surpassed our best year. We're probably looking at, 50,000 downloads soon, so we really do appreciate that. And you can always send us suggestions for movies. We obviously will take just about anything based on the last few
Apparently.
suggestions that we've had from friends and viewers. You can send them in to us on social media. We're roughcuts at Blue Sky or roughcutscast@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
So we really do appreciate that.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. Oh, man. I don't know what I'm going to do now. I guess, I haven't seen this in a while. You seen this before? Yeah, it's, Monopoly.
Oh.
Yeah, it's this new thing that just came out.
I've never... Huh, neat. That's a cool... What do you do in that? Is it like a game?
Oh, here, let me show you. It's about capitalism? What the...
I like that Michael Ironside's got two animals inside of him. Not two dogs. One's a dog and one's a baboon.
No, one's a
Sasquatch.
thimble and one's a race car.
Oh, yeah. Michael Ironside is the embodiment of capitalism. That's what they genetically engineered him to be. That's why he has no conscience. Oh, I'm getting it. Okay,
Yeah.
There's themes. This movie's got themes.
Travis? Who are you talking to?
Him. I was talking to him, Mom.
I don't understand. What's this?
Oh, it's
Outside experimental combat mammal.
Yeah, I see that, Travis.
But they're dogs. Just dogs.